Hi guys, I'm back and I'm still talking about ways that you can save money. So today I feel led to talk about credit. Credit, you may say, what does that have to do with saving money? But it has a lot because if your credit isn't good, then you're going to be charged more for everything that someone who has good credit would be charged. So the reason why I'm passionate about credit is because right out of high school, I was just handed credit. Now, I talked about finances and things like that, but I didn't really um, know much about credit, but I knew I was being handed credit left and right. Now, I paid my bills on time, but I got in trouble with credit because I was just piling on the debt and paying high interest rates because I had balances on my card. So, the first thing I want to talk about is how credit comes about. So think of credit as a pizza pie cut into 5 slices. They're really big slices. So the first portion of your credit, or how creditors look at your credit, is worth 35% of that pizza pie. So, most importantly, you want to make sure you're making your payments on time and you are not running your credit limit up. As for example, if your credit limit is 5,000, you don't want to owe $4,500 and have 500 left over for your credit. So the way that you make your payments, that's considered the most important for your credit and your credit score. That allots for 35%. So you don't want to have missed payments and you don't want to have late payments, because most importantly, that part makes up 35% of your pie. Second most important is the amount that you owe, which I alluded to earlier, is you want to have something left over as far as your credit limit is concerned. Back to the $5,000, you don't want to owe the majority of your credit limit. You want to keep your balances to at least 30% of what your credit score is. My suggestion would be to keep it under 10%. I'm going to go ahead and say right now, from my learning experience and how much I ended up paying just because I was carrying over balances, you want to try and pay that credit card off monthly in full. So basically, if you can't pay it off in full, then try not to use your credit card. Right now, I'm using my credit card for groceries because it's no more pay $50 at the grocery store. You go into the grocery store, you're spending at least 100. And I'm right now just a family of two. So I know how much people are paying in groceries, but don't carry that balance over to the next month. Moving on to the third portion of your credit score, it's new credit. That allots for 15%. So it's just not new credit, it's how long you've had the credit that you have. So if you've had a credit card for 25 years, hopefully it's a good one and the interest rate is good, because that's the one that you want to hold on to, because that's the one that you've had for a long time and they know your credit history. They know how you make your payments on time, and that is something that they will hold 15% of your pizza pie to grant you new credit or give you better interest rates on the credit that you have. The fourth portion of your credit score is a credit mix, meaning what type of credit do you currently have? Do you have mortgage payments? Do you have auto loans? Or do you just have credit cards? Now, that's only 10%. So we're up to 90% of our pizza pie right now. 10% is not that big of a deal, but you do want to have a credit mix. You don't want to just have debt that's credit card. that's credit card debt. If you have an auto loan, that's another type of credit mix. So again, that's only 10%. So most importantly, you want to pay your bills on time. Don't have late fees. Don't accrue the interest, because the interest just adds on and makes a whole nother bill for you. Last but not least, of the fifth portion of the pizza pie is the credit inquiries that you have on your account. So every time you go into a store that offers a charge card, they're asking you to apply. Oh, would you like to apply? You get offers in the mail. You get offers at your bank. Everywhere you go, they're trying to offer you credit. Unless you really need new credit, or you think it's something that can really benefit you, don't go applying for credit everywhere. Even if you're looking for a mortgage, before you allow someone to run your credit, make sure that you're ready at that time to do it, just so you're not having a bunch of inquiries on your report. So that's how your credit score is made up. And like I said, I would focus on the two most important and the ones that make up the biggest portion of your credit score, and that's making your payments on time, not having missed payments, not having late payments, and then secondly is to not use all of what your credit limit is. If you do have credit cards and you're paying your bills on time, you have a good credit score, and we'll talk about what a good credit score is soon. But if you have a student that's in school and they're trying to build their credit, because you want them to have good credit when they get out of school, even if it's not a child, even if you're a parent, fell on some tough times and is struggling to build their credit score back up, you can add them to your credit cards as an authorized signer. You don't even have to give them the card if you're not sure if they're going to be good with your credit. You don't want your credit messed up, I'm sorry, but you want to make sure that you add them. So now if you have a credit limit of $20,000, that person that you're adding on as an authorized signer, that looks like that is their credit limit, and they're using it responsibly. So you can add them on. You don't have to give them a card, but they're on the account as a authorized signer, and it looks good for them because your credit limit now becomes their credit limit. Just something that you can do. If you do have credit cards, make sure you have a credit card that you are benefiting from in some way. Don't just have a credit card and you're paying them monthly and not earning anything. Do your research. Look for something that will benefit you, such as earning travel miles. If you like to travel, you get a credit card that's going to offer you some miles, or even a card that offers just cash back, and you could put that towards a trip or whatever you might want. You can also let it pay for your balance on your credit card, because you can transfer those funds over to pay for your credit card bill. But again, I will go back and say, don't let your credit card build up monthly and then carry that balance over month to month. If you right now, we're in a new year, we're in January, and a lot of people look forward to doing their taxes, getting cash back. If you're carrying debt, consider, if you are getting a tax refund back, putting the bulk of that on making payments. You can make a plan. You always want to make a plan. If you have 3 credit cards and you're carrying debt on those 3 credit cards, check out what the interest rate is on those cards. Check out the balances. Don't be scared to look, because they're not going to get paid if you're not looking at exactly what's owed and what the interest rate is. look at those credit cards and see which one is most attainable to pay off, like the smaller balance, or you can either go with the highest balance, but you want to concentrate on one at a time, paying it off. Now, I'm not saying forget about the other two because you want to keep your credit intact. You keep making payments on all three of them, at least the minimum. If you could do more than the minimum, great. But the one that you're concentrating on, try to put a lot more to that one. If you get a tax refund back, consider putting a chunk of that on those payments, paying off a card. I guarantee you, if you pay off one of those cards, you're going to feel so good that you'll want to continue, and then you'll pay off the second one and then the third one. The key to it, though, is not to build up the debt on those cards again. I'm not saying cut up the cards. I'm not saying put them in the freezer like I've heard before, but you want to make sure to leave them alone. Don't utilize those cards. Use your debit card for purchases. Make sure the money is there first because you don't want to overdraw your account either, because that's costly as well. So make sure the money is there. Utilize your debit cards. I know a lot of people like the pay later apps. And to be honest with you, I think they're great, especially for people who don't have credit. But just keep in mind that those payments have to be made bi-weekly, monthly, whatever the case may be. And you can end up getting yourself in trouble with those too, because you feel like, oh, I can buy this because they're only going to take this small amount every 2 weeks. But those payments add up too, and that's money that could be going towards paying down your debt. Basically, if you don't need it, don't buy it. If you can't afford to buy it with cash or out of your checking account, I would consider thinking about what you are going to purchase, because you don't want to carry the debt over. 2 years ago, I always paid my cards in full, but I made a mistake and I paid an amount that was not the full amount of the card, and I didn't realize it. I looked at my bill and it was like a balance of $40, and basically they were charging me $40 in interest on a $40 charge. I was like, this is crazy. But because I pay my bill in full every month, they could see that. They could see my track record. As soon as I called, they said no problem, took the fee off, and that was that. But when you build that great credit history, you can do that. If that was someone who doesn't usually pay their bill on time, that would have never happened. But seeing that alone, $40 interest on a $40 purchase, was enough for me to say, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not carrying over debt on these credit cards. So all my cards are at a zero balance. When I use them, I pay it off the next month. I also make multiple payments on my card monthly. You don't have to wait until the bill comes. That's why I love having an app on my phone, because when I'm making my payments or anything like that, if I feel like I have an extra $50 or whatever it may be, I just go ahead and put it towards my card, because I know eventually it has to be paid. So why not make it easier on myself and make those payments and get them out the way? So that's pretty much what I have right now as far as credit goes. Just protect it like you would the cash in your wallet, because it's important. I just feel like if you don't have credit, people treat you like you're not worthy. Now, you can have as much money in the bank as you want, but if you can't show that you're worthy of paying your bills, like you're able to pay your bills, then people are going to treat you like you're less than. So pay your bills, keep track of your credit score. I know sometimes it feels like, it's not moving, it's not getting any better, but I'm witness that you pay your bills on time, you don't have late payments, your credit score will improve. For many years, I've been sitting on 800 or over credit score, and that's where I want to keep my credit. But if you have any tips for me, share them with me. I would love to hear them as well. But until the next time, think about what I said, and happy saving.